one of the main reasons I'm thinking about going to the mountains. I might end up becoming addicted to sleep aid and might have to rely on it if I am going to be successful at a potential job that I'm looking at here, hopefully starting in the next month. I don't know, I've just become addicted to it, but I'm going to tell you about this. So this is what I'm taking right now. And I just started drinking it 3 minutes ago. So I'm just going to finish it right now. 1 scoop. You can do 1 scoop or 2 scoops. All right, it's down the hatch. So this is called Sueno. There's either 20 or 40 servings. I took 1 scoop. And I could tell you guys the ingredients. Anyway, when I take this, I feel so freaking refreshed in the morning, like I'm actually having the best sleep of my life. I just hope I don't become addicted to it. And I wish that I didn't need it. This is the stuff that I was taking when my other one ran out. And I tell you, it says that it promotes an enhanced sexual experience. The next day when I woke up, I was so overly horny. I kid you not. Everybody, I wanted to have sex with them. I wanted to have sex with everybody that I saw. I was just horny. And I was like, this is crazy. I didn't have like a lot of energy, but just mentally, it was like a mental thing. I was like, this is not good. Also, I almost felt like I was drunk. So I definitely am not going to be finishing this because I don't like feeling like I'm on anything. I just like feeling like I'm myself. I did end up, after having those side effects, looking up, and sure enough, other people were the same, had the same effects. But I was only able to fall asleep on this after taking 2 scoops. And it only had a recommendation of 1 scoop. So that was weird too. So this stuff is no good. The Sumato Max by High Tech Pharmaceuticals is not for me. However, Sueno by Nutrition is for me. This is the Cansado series. So this is deep REM sleep, wake up feeling rested, improve recovery. It's by Extremist Cartel is what it's called. But yeah, this stuff helps me sleep really good, and I wake up feeling well rested. That other stuff, I wake up feeling drunk and horny as fuck all day. And I don't like feeling horny with everybody that I see. It's just really weird, so I'm not going to take it. It literally says on there that it enhances sexual experience. That's not what I got it for. I got it for the deep sleep. It was for the reviews that I'd read. When I got it, I read that. I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, well, I hope this is... I was like, this probably is just to sell it. Sure enough, it was making me horny. I didn't have sex while I was on it, but... All right, so took it 5 minutes ago. I'll tell you guys when it starts to kick in and tell you how long it takes to kick in. Generally, it takes about 30 minutes before I'm just solid out. Am I in a studio? I am just at a friend's business, and they're letting me stay on the couch. I'm doing some work trade for some friends. They are launching a new company. Yeah, hopefully if it goes good, they'll hire me on. They said they couldn't pay me, but that I could do a little bit of work for them and have a place to stay. I was getting really sick and tired of living in the van. Oh, yeah. That would be dope if it was a sound studio. I've been really wanting to actually go to a studio and have someone mix my voice. but that costs money. But I wish it was. I wish it was. So bad for you. You barely have any viewers or likes. I mean, I'm not really worried about it. I ghosted all my viewers for 2 years. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about it, to be honest. I'm just bored, so I'm on here. Do I like video games? I don't really play video games, to be honest. I played PlayStation 2 when I was younger. I played some Star Wars Battlefront 2. I played some Need for Speed Carbon, some Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I played like all the Pokemon Rainbow game, or not the rainbow colors, but like yellow, orange, and blue. Hey, what's up, CP Pablo? I've been there before, living in the car and stuff. It's hard out here. I understand. Yeah, believe it or not, I had my own business. I was a top salesman. I chose the van life after I smoked weed for 4 months. So what happened was my boss betrayed me. He betrayed all of his employees. He said that he wanted to promote us to be millionaires by the time we were 30. We were all naive. We were young. We were making him collectively like $1 million a year. Like 3 of his top leaders. I was one of them. And I got really fucking pissed at him. And I got depressed and I smoked weed. And after I smoked the weed for 4 months back in 2016. I just got high out of my fucking mind every day. Went to the taco truck, became a super stoner. Actually, it's because I was so depressed. My friend offered me to hit some of the marijuana. And nothing bothered me after that. I just kept eating tacos. I ate like fucking 30 tacos a day from the taco truck. Bought some workout stuff on the internet and just started going to the gym every day, eating tacos, working out, and sleeping. And then I bought like a hot tub that I put in my apartment. And then I realized I only had $2,000 left out of all my savings. I blew through like 30 grand. And I was like, fuck, I don't have any more money and I haven't worked for 4 months. What did I just do? I better try to stop smoking this weed. But while I was smoking the weed, I was watching all the van life videos. And so I've actually been traveling since 2018, just doing any and every job that I could find, trying to find the highest paying jobs. Ended up getting into some decent, flexible jobs that ended up being a little more high stress than I anticipated. Kind of got addicted to the flexibility of one of them that I think I'm officially done with now. It was collecting signatures for political ballots, and politics is so toxic. It's just like if you want to be covered with people's dark energy and pissed off at you for no reason, just because you're in politics and they don't even know what it's about, be a signature gatherer. That's a great way to be miserable. Have to listen to everybody's opinion on everything, and then when you try to tell them I'm no longer interested, they just keep rambling, and then you get like pulled in like 50 different directions while you're in that job of what you think your politics are. India, what's up, dude? That's what's up. I actually started training with the Indian training clubs. That's what gave me the idea for the giant swords. Thoughts on living in 1984? I don't want to get into any of this type of discussion with this 1984 stuff because when I was petitioning, over the time of petitioning, I had over 100 people tell me to read that book. And I watched a couple things on YouTube, and after I was watching that, my algorithm turned into me becoming like psycho, schizophrenic, paranoid. And so I don't get into any type of conspiracies, whether they're true or not. I don't know. And I don't really care anymore. I don't give a fuck. At this point, I'm just focusing on myself and what I can do to live a more happy, pleasurable life. As you guys can see, I had a dream for 7 days in a row, 7 nights in a row, and this is just what I would. The world was everybody on planet Earth was receiving a massage from each other, and there was waterfalls all around, and everybody was chilling, and everything was lit. It was like going to a bonfire party every night, and everybody was getting along. It was some hippy dippy shit, and I just had a dream of it. And it actually came after I had the most amount of pain in my life, because all I could think about was getting a massage to get rid of all my pain. And then all of a sudden, the universe or God or goddess or whatever you want to call it just started feeding me dreams of the only way that I was going to heal all this traumatic physical pain that I was feeling, both caused by mental issues and tearing my body down because I was overtraining my sword and then falling off the back of a ladder. So I literally had this sign made, and at the shop that I had it made, the dude literally made 10 of them. He gave one to his wife, and he said, "I'm going to tell my wife that all the bros are getting 24-hour massages." So I'm like, so he literally said, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it to her for Christmas. I'm going to tell my wife that all my bros are getting 24-hour massages because it's the new vibe on planet Earth. Come on." And then he told me he's just going to tell her, "Come on, honey, can't I just get a 1-hour massage once a day?" But this is literally, he made it look all like that. And all his employees wanted one, so he made one for all of his employees. It was at Fast Signs. And it says, 24-hour massage is the new vibe on planet Earth. Who doesn't need one to regenerate and anti-age the mind, body, spirit, and soul, to procreate natural joy, bliss, ecstasy, and unconditional love for the present eternity? You are worthy, are you not? Because it's like, you ask somebody that question, they're like, "I don't want to say I'm not worthy of a 24-hour massage. I've never really thought about it. That sounds pretty wild." Yeah, that's the dream I had for 7 nights in a row. I was missing some people's stuff here. Always good with dark. Hi, Pata. What up? I started reading it and quit after a few chapters. Was a major bummer, dude. Oh, shit. I mean, I've heard that we live in that, but I don't think it's as bad as I think they say it's like that in China. But again, I don't want to make this about any of that, so I'm just going to change the subject. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Poma. What's up, Poma? Hey, Angelica Corral. How you doing? I believe, Angelica Corral, were you on the other night? I can't remember. I was also taking sleep aid that night. By the way, I'm giving you guys like the 10-minute rundown of the Sueno sleep aid that I'm taking. I'm feeling really relaxed. I was having some pain in my body, and this just kind of relaxes all my muscles. So I think it was just the muscles were tight. It's not a painkiller, and I'm just feeling really sociable. So props to the Sueno. Hopefully the one scoop will knock me out like it did last night, and I don't have to take more and more. I mean, I'm always safe. I'm never really worried about my safety. I'm never really worried about fear or what could happen. I've slept in front of up until a couple weeks ago. I was sleeping in a random new location every single night for the last eight years, and I found out fast that if you park at business establishments where I would have assumed they'd want me to park, being a van lifer, that you'll actually get harassed and accosted by security. This actually made me go crazy, and I started becoming so pissed off because I was getting woken up. Obviously, I'm just not one of those people that it's good to wake up in the middle of the night, because A demon was created in me that had never been there before. I was constantly being woken up by security, and I was just sleeping. I was just chilling. I wasn't making a mess. And I found out that the best places to park were actually right in front of people's homes, like right by a gate, and then just be gone the next morning. They just assume it was the neighbor. But yeah, I wasn't expecting van life to be such a piece of shit. But then again, the people that enjoyed van life aren't living in the city, and they're out there in the woods hiking waterfalls, doing epic shit, being out in nature, being out in the beauty. And unfortunately, I was not really able to do that because out of the 60 jobs that I worked after my career as a top seller for Kirby Vacuums and then a business owner for my own Kirby distributorship, I think the Sueno's kicking in because I've lost my train of thought. But like, if I had a little bit of money that I could make online, I would be really, really happy with van life never being in the fucking city, because the cities suck. You have to be so fucking quiet in front of people's homes or they'll call the cops on you. Not always, because some people are chill and they realize that, life should be spontaneous. You should be able to travel like the ancestors. Like the ancestors were literally on the back of horses, riding naked, going wherever the fuck they wanted, hunting, fishing, and foraging. But now we have domesticated ourselves to the point where if somebody's having a little bit of adventure, I think what it is people are just afraid of the homeless, and they just assume that everybody living in their van is some fucking drug addict or something. That's just my guess. They're just afraid of their property getting hurt, so they will waste my tax dollars by calling the cops on me for no fucking reason. It's great. I love America. It's so free. I love it. I'm a damn good American. I used to be. Fuck, I used to be so fucking patriotic, but I can tell you, after trying to be a freedom-loving guy, just traveling around and going to national parks and enjoying the beauty, the amount of abuse that I've had to put up with, just living in my van, not bothering anybody, working, and some of the random jobs that I've worked for, just how shitty some of the employers have been. I've worked 60 jobs and I only enjoyed 5 of them. Like literally, like I almost feel like some jobs just try to make your life miserable. I'm like, there's going to be no innovation here if everybody's miserable. Like if there's no way that this company is going to grow. This company is going to fizz out in about a couple generations. Like, if I could find work online, would I? Yeah, I would. It would depend on what it was. I've done some questionable things online, I'll just be honest. So I told you guys that I was a stripper. I had my van break down in Portland. Portland is one of the worst places to have your vans break down. Beautiful hiking in Portland, by the way. One of the best places that I've ever hiked. That town is prime if you like hiking in tall, like red forest, red oaks. But in Portland, where all the resources are, when you're broken down, there's a bunch of drug addicts downtown. And so I was doing push-ups. I was running 10 miles a day. And I was just making sure I wasn't going to get jacked for the money that I had in my pocket, because there were so many tents and so many people were on drugs. So I was just listening to my music. I was just dancing, listening to my music, because they had just towed my vehicle away. And I told them I only need one more week to get the $4,000 that it was going to take to do the new motor that blew up in my van. But no, they towed my shit away with everything that I owned, because they thought me being on the streets with a bunch of drug addicts would be better for me. Again, another reason I love America. Beautiful land of the free, home of the brave, help your neighbor type country. Yeah, right. That's actually happened to me 3 times, actually. And of course, after being homeless, not having credit, getting a new vehicle, it's not in the best condition, so it just kept happening. But eventually, I got wiser. So, big buff dude on steroids comes up and asks me, "Do you want to make $500 tonight?" And I'll get into when I did the online stuff, but I'm gonna tell you about the strip club. I can't believe I did this shit. But when you're in a desperate state of survival, you do some questionable things, and I learned a lot of stuff about myself at the strip club. I learned that being naked isn't really that big of a deal. That yes, I was being sexualized, but anyway, he asked me, "Do I want to make $500?" And I'm like, "No, dude, I don't want to make $500 tonight." Because I'm just like, what does this guy want me to do? Sell some drugs? And then he was looking at me like, "No, dude, do you want to make $500 tonight?" I'm like, "Oh hell no, I ain't making $500 for this guy. Does this guy want to fuck me?" Wait, what? And then he's like, "No, dude, it's a W9. It's right around the corner, dude. You dance." I dance. Well, what kind of dance? And he's like, "Well, you take it all off and make $500. 4 hours of work." And I'm just like, "Nah, dude. There's no way that people would pay me $500 to get naked. I can tell you that right now." He's like, No, I was watching you dance, and I'm telling you because I recruit people all the time. And just go do that. And you'll make $500. You just got to take your underwear off." And I'm just like, "I got to take my underwear off?" It's like, you got to be shitting me, man. He's like, "Dude, look, I'll tell you what." He just pulls out his wallet. He thumbs through. He's like, "I will be the one that tips you $250. But you're out here on the streets. Why don't you just come make some money and get yourself a new van in a couple of weeks or a couple of months? And if you don't make $500 tonight, then it's not for you. If I'm tipping you the $500, you should at least make $750." So I followed him. I'm just like, my heart's a beating. I'm just like, wait, is this gonna be for women? There's no way I could dance for women. I'm too nervous. There ain't no way. It ended up being easier dancing for dudes, let me tell you, because when the women came in, first off, I eventually after the first week started giving women lap dances because there were women there. But the manager had to pull me to the side and say, "Dude, this is a gay club, brother. You're not getting an erection when you're around the men, and they think you're gay because that's what you're paid here." But every time you come out the lap dance with a woman, your dick's fucking hard as fuck, brother. Look, we knew you were straight the minute you came in, but if you dance for the women, we can't let you be on every night when there's other dancers. We want to put you on because you're one of their favorites. Just like, what the fuck? So I only ended up doing it for 4 months. But what happened was with the online thing, is I ended up making an OnlyFans because I ended up dating this girl, and but I told her. She was really nervous about it. She's like, she didn't want me to do it. I'm like, well, honey, there was dudes at the club making $2,000 a week, some $5,000 a week off their OnlyFans, and I didn't make one. Why don't I just make one? I was trying to get her to make the OnlyFans with me, but she didn't want to do it. She didn't feel comfortable. So I said, okay, just let me do it. She's like, no, I don't want you making OnlyFans for girls. And I told her, well, honey, how about I just pretend I'm gay on the OnlyFans, because I already did that when I was at the gay club. And I wasn't really pretending to be gay. I was just going to the gay club and dancing. And if they asked for a dance, I give them a dance. But I never really said I was gay or not. But they never really asked. But Anyway, that's what happened. Some dude, my cousin did the same thing in NY City. That's what's up, man. Hey, I got a van. I got a van, and I left. I almost got my ass kicked, actually. I wanted to do it a little bit longer. The last month I was only making 1,000 a week, which wasn't what I was making when I started. I was making like 2,000 to 2,500 a week of like 20 hours of work, and I was hiking every day, and I had the ability to go and sleep with all these women, but I just didn't do it because honestly, I was literally at the lowest self-esteem in my life when I actually did that job, believe it or not. You couldn't tell because of the way I was dancing and throwing my clothes off and putting on a smile, but I've been in sales and made a lot of money when I didn't want to either, because you got to pay the motherfucking bills, if you know what I'm saying. But there was something about taking your clothes off and having all these people happy, and everybody was happy. And I have not found a job like that where I could make everybody happy. Not everybody there. Pretty much everybody there I made happy except for the other dancers. A few of the other dancers who I was taking their regulars. So I was taking their money from their customers. These dancers has been dancing for 10 years, and they were getting constant regulars. The regulars is somebody, that's what they call it. They call a regular somebody that is constantly getting dances from them and has been for some time. If someone's asking me for a dance, I'm not turning down any money because that could turn. Normally, I'm making at least $100 in like 10 minutes just doing a couple of songs. And all you do is you just hold on to this thing and you just kind of dance to this music, and they're sitting in a chair. And then if you want to like kind of get closer to them, you just double it for $40 a song. And most of the time I just said I'm not going to get too close. I'm just going to respect my own boundaries and just do for the 20, because people would still be spending $100 a person for a couple of songs. But sometimes I was just like, $40? This person seems pretty cool. I'm just going to fucking do it. But if they were drunk, I was just going to do it for $20. like I had to slam a dude against the back of the wall. He was drunk. But this guy was always spending money, and he just came in drunk that one night. So I didn't want to like offend him. So I ended up like, at first I thought I knocked him out almost. I was like, "You all right, dude?" He's like, yeah, what? You trying to knock me out? And I'm like, "Dude, you kept trying to kiss me, bro. It's against the rules, bro. What are you doing, homie?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. And he kept trying to do it. So I was just like, "Dude, I got to stay back here, man." The bouncer came down. He's like, "You want me to get rid of him?" I'm like, "No, dude, he's cool." Because this dude had like spent $500 on me the last night, just fucking standing there for like fucking 40 minutes dancing. So I was like, "No, I don't want you to get rid of him." No. Highest paid customer. He's just a little drunk tonight. But yeah, I found out that my uncle was an actual Chippendale. So my uncle actually, if I got my body in really good shape, I guess I could be a Chippendale. I've considered it, but I'd have to get in really good shape. And I wouldn't even have to give women lap dances. I would just dance for women on stage and make the same amount of money that I was making. Because some women you just don't want to give lap dances to. I mean, if I'm turned on by a woman, hell yeah, I want to give her a lap dance. But it also gets old and boring. Like I was honestly just like, it was just like I was just like washing a car. I don't know how to explain it, but you just do the same thing every night, and it's just like it just became like a regular job. And I actually got 4 people to end up trying out as strippers, and one became a stripper because so many times, like, "Oh my God," he would be like, "Oh my God, you're a celebrity. You're a stripper. The whole town knows about you. I'm just like, well, I'm not anything special. I was literally homeless last month. I told them the truth. And they're like, I literally just told them the fucking truth. Like, I was literally just working out on the street and some dude recruited me and I was living van life. And I was like, well, you can try out on Monday night. I mean, I'm not anything special. I just kind of am in shape and I just dance and talk to people and take my clothes off. I mean, that's all I did. Like, I don't see the big deal. At that point, after doing it for a month, I'm just like looking around at the world completely different. And I'm just like, why are we shameful of being naked? Why are you guys so hypersexualized about being naked? I'm not going to be going home with anybody. I'm literally just trying to get a new van so I can figure out a way to make money online and travel so I can go hike waterfalls. This is literally what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, please don't get in a fight with any of these strippers that are on steroids who want to beat my ass because I'm taking all their regulars. One dude, he was like 300 pounds, bumped into me, slammed me against the wall. I'm like, oh, shit. So I just looked at him. I'm like, dude, if you want to knock me out, just fucking do it. Because I got sick of him. I'm just like, dude, just fucking do it, bro. Stop telling me you're going to knock me out. Just fucking do it right here. And he just slammed me up against the wall. And he said he quit, but I'm pretty sure he got fired. I'm pretty sure he got fired. But I just wanted to see if he was about it because I was so sick of it. I was just like, dude. And honestly, I'm a pretty good fighter. So if you wouldn't have hit me that hard, I might have had a chance against him because he was kind of slow and I know where to hit him. But at that point, if he hits me, he could have knocked me out, though. He was a big motherfucker. But if he wouldn't have hit me in the right spot, I probably could have taken it if it didn't totally win me. And actually, I made a little bit of money the next week because I think he was like talking a bunch of shit to me about everybody. So it ended up working out to my benefit. Okay, their job, I know where if you have a phone, you can work on that, right? Have a look easy job. I'm a believer in Christ and hope it easy for you. The people will help me understand. I mean, you could drop it down there. I particularly think Jesus was a cool dude. I've heard over 100 different stories of what the true teachings of Christ were. I don't believe in the King James Bible because I think it's sexist, but that's just me. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm the type of person that's had deep conversations with everybody from every single walk of life. And I do believe in the message of trying to spread love and positivity and try not to judge others and judge yourself. But deep down, when the Bible tries to tell me that a woman came from a man's rib, come on, the whole Bible is written by men. And then God is like a man. He's like a masculine force. So like, I believe religion has its place, and every religion works in its own individual geographical location, because depending on what geographic location you're in, that's what your mind's eye is going to perceive as reality. But that's just how I look at things. I just look at things from not like an atheist point of view, but like a scientific point of view. I'm very scientific. So I've quantified religion. I haven't deeply dived into all different religions, but I've quantified religion. I think that it can prevent a lot of chaos from happening in the world. Human beings are a highly intelligent / highly destructive species, so I think they do need guidance. I've heard all the conspiracies about the end times prophecy, but I also think it's dangerous to prophesize the end times, because what you prophesize, you will manifest. I used to be a hardcore Christian, and I believed and all these prophecies of the end times. And if you're looking for it, it will happen. And if you're talking about something, it will manifest. So I believe more in the power of positive creation, the power of trying to, instead of seeing the world as a doom and gloom and the end times, that we more or less take personal responsibility for ourselves, start building better communities, better families, stop judging other people, stop using violence against other people who are not using violence. I know a lot of Christians that want to be violent against other people who don't practice violence, which goes against, what Jesus was teaching. But I'm open to it. But if it's selling religion, I'm not interested, because I'm not going to be in full agreement of any type of religion, because I've looked at them all and I see little truths in all of them, because I've taken a panoramic view of the creation and the different perspectives of the different people who have the different perspectives in the creation. I'm no longer interested in any individual religion. And then we're just getting into a debate of ego and what they believe is the truth. And I believe in cause and effect. So I believe that there are some truths in Christianity. Is it always true? No, not necessarily. Like, I know a lot of people who are polyamorous, that are better parents than people that are not polyamorous. And lust in itself is a deadly sin, because but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, because religion is very broad. It is very broad. When you're trying to guide a large group of people in a certain way, you would just say that lust is a deadly sin. It can absolutely be a deadly sin, but it can also be It can also be healing as well. So you can start with lust, and then you can learn to love. Lust in itself is not dangerous, because lust in itself is two human bodies coming together with magnetism, and we actually need magnetism. It's better to be lustful with somebody in a positive way that's not harmful. Now, what can come from lust that's deadly? Unplanned pregnancy, STDs, sexually transmitted demons, which essentially is what most diseases are. They're just emotions that manifest in the body, like shame, guilt, resentment. I have an issue with the Muslims. I mean, they force their women to cover up. That goes against the Adam and Eve. All Christians these days are shameful. There is the Christian nudists. So there is a group of Christian nudists that actually respect what God asked for in the Christian's Bible, which was God said to live naked in the garden, to eat the fruit and pick it and eat it right away. And why would you want to do that? Because you need sulfur in your body. Well, your body gets sunburned. It has all these problems when you're picking fruit and then you're not eating it right away. Your body can't assimilate all the proper chemistry to live 950 years like the people were living in the olden days. And now, even if you pick the fruit, it's not in the way that it was originally created. It's in soil that's depleted. So I deeply understand the creation, and I deeply understand the Bible, but I don't agree with it 100%, because, again, it was written by man, and it was man's interpretation, and man has flaws, and man wrote the Bible. Even though it was ordained by God, every individual person has a different perspective of what God is, because everybody has had a different perspective. And I see God as the universe. That's just how I see it. Yeah, I believe that when you spell something out, you're casting spells. So Christians are all practicing witchcraft when they're using their Bibles. So I see a lot of stuff in the Bible that is ridiculous. You know, it's saying don't do this, but yet it's doing it. To me, it's just blasphemy in many ways. But I'm not about to follow a 2,000-year-old book which has been lost in translation, and people don't even understand what the hell it means. It's not for me. I'm going to use my own brain. I'm going to have my own individual relationship with reality. And I'm going to talk with other people and be a scientist. And I'm going to live my life. And yes, there's some things that I've done that are sin, and they have brought disease, and they have decreased electricity from my cells. I am made myself, my CELLF is made up of cells. Certain emotions are very deadly to the body. But yeah, I could get all up in it. I could get deep. But I would say personally, I rather get made to be father's sins of my own. And there's another thing. I don't like that they call this the father. First off, I was child trafficked from my mother by the government, by big daddy, big brother government. So there again, we're throwing around masculine names. So the whole thing just turns me off. I hate to say it, but I'd rather God be a mother, since I didn't have a mother growing up and I was child trafficked from my mother by the government because she grew weed, which was a non-violent crime. And then the state used violence against her and put her in prison. And then they used violence against me, where I was beat, raped, and drugged by a bunch of pharmaceutical drugs in the system. You know, the whole thing is just made by men, because it's all written by men, and it's King James. It's not Queen James. So I, instead of saying, oh my God, I don't say God's name in vain. I say, oh my goddess. I say goddess's name in vain. So I flipped the script. You know, I've studied, I really align with the Native American thought, you know, being in alignment with nature. We'd be living 950 years like the people in the Bible. Your body cannot assimilate sulfur. So when you pick something that is assimilated from the sun, after about 5 hours, it starts to rapidly lose its ability to produce what your body needs to anti-age. And I've done hours of research on this, So we kicked ourselves out of the garden by our own ignorance, by becoming, we could blame it on God or we could blame it on the devil, but at the end of the day, it's all a choice. If I wanted to right now, if I had the courage or the willpower, I could go live off the fucking grid, and I could live naked under the sun and under the moon, and I could regenerate fast as fuck. I could swim in the water. I could dream. I could find the cleanest stream. I could drink the water while it's being charged, while it's flowing over. Drinking water from a disgusting pipe that comes in the ground that's just sitting with filth, or a plastic bottle, is against my temple, and it's against God. I'm just being real. But I'm sinning against myself because I'm weak. You know, I'm weak. I tell myself, I give into fear. Oh, will I survive? Am I strong enough to slay a Kodiak bear? That's why I train with the sword, because one day I would like to return to the mountains. But if I return to the mountains, best believe I'd probably be by myself, because I don't think anybody else wants to train to swing a 50-pound sword in a serious. Because I've asked over 5,000 people directly, do you want to train with me to swing a 5,000 sword? And nobody's fucking done it. So, but I think I would be a lot fucking happier most of the time just out dancing naked on the mountain, getting full spectrum sunlight and moonlight, swimming naked, bathing under the waterfall, getting a waterfall massage. And Honestly, at this point, I think I'd be happier without a woman, unless the woman was willing to do that. Because then I'd have to sit in a house, I'd have to go to work, or I'd have to do all these things that I don't enjoy doing. And really, I just enjoy thinking about cowboy camping all the time and seeing the beautiful stars and breathing in fresh mountain air. But I'm getting sucked back into the Matrix, and um, had some friends buy me a pass to go get what do you call that? A steam room. And those steam rooms, I'm telling you, they make your body feel so good. So now if I go out into nature, I'm going to have to find a freaking steam bath out in nature. And I hope it's all season long. Because now I've fallen in love with a man-made steamer. I can do without the buffets, like the two things. There's the steamer, as I might have a hard time finding in nature, and the buffets. If I could plant my own herbs out in nature, then I could probably like create my own buffet. Like, because at a buffet you really only got like the buffet is like it could be the same meat, but it's all just different flavors. Trust be a nice job, but you just got to say what it is, man. I'll tell you what, my Instagram is the Giant Sword Workout. If you want to message me through the Instagram at the Giant Sword Workout, or you could drop your number on one of the comments. But I'm not going to give my number out on here. I've given my number out to way too many people, and but I've changed my number a bunch of times. I definitely had to change my number after I was done at the strip club. That was funny. I was like, I don't work there no more. I'm sorry. I had to let them know when I was dancing so I could make a bunch of money. And honestly, I'm not ashamed of it, because what I learned is that humanity. I got invited to a nudist beach by one of the people, and they were really cool. So I went and just walked around on the beach naked and started doing that with them once a week. And I was like, you know what? Humanity is weird. All the other animals in the animal kingdom don't have shame, guilt, resentment, and fear of being naked, but yet humanity is mentally ill, because physical illness manifests from mental illness. And to be constantly in shame, guilt, fear, and resentment of our own bodies and other people's bodies is manifesting physical disease in the body. I mean, it's scientifically proven that these emotions manifest physical illness in the body. I've done a lot of research on it. The last 3 years of my life, I literally just laid on my phone and just did tons and tons of research on stuff. And I was starting to notice things when I was out there naked, that the wind blowing across my body, all I was able to breathe. My whole nervous system was getting stimulated, and all this pain that I had in my body was just instantly going away just from a little bit of wind blowing across my nervous system. And then I learned about wind baths. Sadhguru, a lot of people, not everybody's going to agree with Sadhguru, because you're going to have Christians say, oh, that's evil. But he's a guru. The Indians literally are teaching people about the nadis in the body, which are your nervous system, how to breathe. I've slit my L4 vertebrae 4 times. I've injured myself more times than I can count, and it's because of me learning how to breathe. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do any drugs other than the recent sleep aid and occasionally I get addicted to caffeine, but who's not addicted to caffeine? And a lot of people have to take melatonin to sleep. But honestly, it's just your spirit. It's all mental. Like if I went to meditate on a mountain with some monks for a month, I could learn the breathing techniques to put myself to sleep pretty fast. I just haven't had the time. But hey, thanks, some dude. But yeah, I don't mean to sound annoyed. It's just I just don't want the job to be preaching the gospel. I actually was going to become a preacher at one point. Even not being like a Christian, I was going to pretend to be a Christian. Like, oh, it's blasphemy. No, but I was going to preach about the things from the Bible that are good because I thought that they would benefit humanity, because I wasn't able to find a church that believed in what I believed in. And eventually I did find a church, even though I didn't believe in everything there, but it was called the Unitarian Universalists. And I believe in a lot of stuff from the Bible. Like I think that it has value, but also I believe in polyamory. I haven't been polyamorous in a polyamorous relationship. Technically, I was polyamorous when I was a stripper. I wasn't having any sex with anybody, but I was spiritually polyamorous with everybody there. And I was giving physical touch to everybody. I was giving everybody massages. And I was like a healer. And people told me that every night, dude, you're like a healer. I can feel this. I feel healed when I'm away from you. And I was upfront with them. I'm like, look, I don't want to lie to you. I don't want you to think that I'm going to take your money. Because people were starting to get sad that I wasn't going to go on a date with them. And yeah, so I've had an interesting perspective on life doing that job alone. And to me, just like the whole reality to me is just bizarre. Like just waking up and living and seeing the way things are, it's just bizarre to me. But that's just because that's my perspective. I've met a lot of people that have my perspective because I've met a lot of people that have done my line of work. So it's just perspective, right? It's like people don't think it's child abuse putting shoes on children, and I do. I mean, if you're not putting a barefoot shoe on a child, that's child abuse. You're literally deforming their foot, which is the sole foundation of their foot. Like God literally said, live in the Garden of Eden. This is for the Christians out there, and I'm not going Christian on y'all. I'm just, some of the stuff of Christianity is true, but it completely lost the point. Like, I wish I could walk everywhere barefoot. Like, it's the sole foundation of your feet. Like when I walk barefoot for a week, I get so much more dopamine and serotonin, and all my pain just goes away from my body because I'm activating all the muscles that are holding up the whole entire gravity of my body. I'm getting constant reflexology on the bottom of my feet. I don't give a shit if I'm walking in bird shit. Who gives a fuck? I take care of my immune system. I'm literally detoxing the body just by constantly activating all the meridians in my body, which are reflexology, like when you're walking on rocks and all this stuff. Now, certain places, of course, I'm going to put some shoes on. Like I'm not going to walk downtown in some place like San Francisco with my shoes off. I'm going to wear like a pair of barefoot shoes because there's like heroin needles in those places. It's disgusting. People shit on the sidewalk, you know. But honestly, I'm pretty darn healthy, and like people don't realize they've deformed. Like my feet are deformed. I used to wear Armani pointed shoes when I was a salesman, when I was a top salesman. I used to wear like these tight-fitting clothes that was restricting my chi. Like, sleeping with pants on that have any type of tightness and tension around your hips is blasphemy. You're literally cutting off your root chakra to your sacral chakra to your solar plexus chakra. Like, if you're cutting off any circulation in your body over a long period of time, if you do that all the time wearing clothes, you're cutting off your circulation, and we wonder why we're aging so much. So yeah, of course, I do believe that the Bible was like a recorded history book in some ways. And I believe that wearing clothes is blasphemy. Literally, Adam and Eve were supposed to not be wearing clothes, not supposed to be being shameful, guiltful, resentful. And if they felt lust, they weren't acting out lust and raping people. You know what I'm saying? Like, do we have that little of self-control where we can't just be in alignment with God, the universe, and all the other fucking animals in the animal kingdom? You know, like, do we have to constantly be cutting off our chi by wearing all this tight clothing and constantly, like, we are solar beings. Like, why are we not getting sunshine on all meridians of the body when we know for a fact, scientifically, that certain organs, like if you only have sun on your face, your certain organs are like, your brain is going to get some vitamin D because it's going into through that bloodstream and those meridians. But if you never have sunshine on your fucking balls, and we wonder why our ancestors could like lift 2,000 pounds by themselves and why we can't anymore. Well, maybe you shouldn't shut off one of the most vital nutrients, which creates testosterone, to your fucking balls. like maybe women should have their breasts out so that their breasts are healthy, so that when we're sucking from the breasts, we're getting vitality. And we wonder why women have breast cancer. Look, you get skin cancer when you're not hydrated. Like, this has been scientifically proven. When water just sits in a bottle, it loses its electric charge. It's not going to hydrate you. It has to be magnetized by running over water in a stream. It has to be running water for it to be electrified so that it'll absorb into your body. If your cells aren't hydrated, you're going to get sunburned. And we're like, oh, it's the ozone. Like, no, you didn't respect and honor the ancestors. It says that in the Bible. Respect and honor your mother and father. We didn't respect and honor our mother and father to even remember how the fuck we lived on planet Earth for 99.999% of our DNA. And we wonder why we're sick and why we're not hydrated, even though you could drink 3 gallons of water. Even the water that's like water is supposed to have sun on it. It's not supposed to be underground in a bunch of stinky pipes that are filled with rust and corrosion. Like, if you don't think that's going to cause some type of cancer of just drinking out of bottles, like, that's not electrified, natural electrolysis water. You got companies selling $10,000 water machines that understand this. Like, come on, people. Like, the Native Americans are right about the whole gas and oil, and I'm not trying to... Dude, I did petitions for oil companies, okay? I'm not perfect. Like, I was getting $10 a signature. That was my job. I didn't, like, I've done petitions on everything, like, to survive. But at the end of the day, it is fucking up the water. Am I proud of that? No. But at the same time, you know, was I just going to tell my boss no? I had no other job. Then when that petition came up, so I fucking repped that petition. Am I perfect? No. But anybody that uses a cell phone right now is participating in child slavery. Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast. Is that Christian? Of course not. You know? It's like we're all sinners no matter what. There's no getting away from it. Unless y'all want to go find a waterfall and we can have 24-hour massages as the new vibe on planet Earth, like the fucking Garden of Eden. And we can all give each other back rubs and build our own little cabins in 1 month. Like it would take me a week to build a small cabin with my bare hands. You know, there's no way I'm going to be affording any apartments anytime soon, or let alone a house. So what am I even doing here, really? I question myself. Why am I just not out there enjoying myself in the buff? Oh, I'd get lonely because I didn't want to have other human beings to hang out with, even though they're all busy and working all the time and stressed out, and their stress is coming on to me. Like, like, what the fuck, right? What the fuck? I'm just a country boy who just wants to go hunting, fishing, foraging, making love to my woman underneath the waterfall while we're both getting blasted by the waterfall, getting massaged, just beating them cheeks from the back or the front while I'm looking at her in her eyes because I'm passionate and I love her. Yeah. Hee-haw. Yo, say hello to Mr. Smiley. Yeah. Right? Well, we could do it. I mean, our bodies have become hyper weak. I went a couple of times when I went naturalist naked. I got super sunburned on the places that were not used to the sun. So certain parts of my skin have adapted to the sun, while the other parts have never seen the sun. So you could guess which parts were sunburned. Like, how it's chafing. So you got to like adapt to it. Like, in Africa, they're doing that right now. Like the Liver King, even though he got busted for steroids, he has one of the coolest workouts. But if everybody could do the barbarian workout, they'll definitely be tough enough to build their own cabin in a week. And I'm trying to honor the earth, so my cabin's not going to be that big. I mean, the body gets weak when the body doesn't move, so constant movement. And movement should feel good, but movement doesn't feel good for us humans because we get tired, we get old. It's because we're not barefoot. Because when you're incapacitating the soles of your feet and you're not building them up into hobbit feet, you're not living in harmony with earth like the hobbits were. That's just like from J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, but it's just like, we'll just call some of the tribes that are like in Africa and then the Amazon, we'll call them like the last of the hobbits, right? Because they're tough as nails, right? They're tough as nails. Like their inner technology is tough as nails. Like they can run across the floor. They have laser sharp focus. They can throw a rock at a snake's head and knock it out. Like they're happy and they're around the campfire every night. They're singing Kumbaya. We've become super soft. For every bit of technology that we use outside of us, we're using that to make our lives more convenient. But at that, a lot of our conveniences, like some people, they're athletes, so the convenience is good, like going to the steam room. It makes them a stronger athlete, makes their body stronger, especially barefoot athletes. But for the average person, we're just making ourselves sicker and weaker. The stronger the body, the easier it is to fight sickness. And I guess you could call it Pandora's box, or you could call it when we figured out how to make fire. Christianity is not that old. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been on like our DNA, like you are billions of years old, I'm billions of years old. Christianity came around 2,000 years ago. Right? It hasn't been around very long. I'm not saying that it's not necessary so that we don't destroy our whole planet, because it is in a lot of ways. If there wasn't as many Christians as there was, there'd probably be a lot more chaos. I don't think that it's really just the golden rule, you know. It's really just the golden rule, right? Treat others in the planet the way you want to be treated. It's pretty fucking simple. Like, but a lot of people don't want to do that, and we don't do that. I mean, we live in the modern world. We go shopping. Everything's coated in plastic. So we're constantly desecrating our temples with microplastics. We live in a society that says no shoes, no shirt, no service. Tells all women to cover up their chest. And then we wonder why we have cancer when women have breast cancer, because they're not getting sun on their breasts. And then we're wondering why we're getting skin cancer, because we're not absorbing and hydrating, because we're drinking out of a plastic bottle which holds no electric charge. We're drinking out of pipes that are under the earth, which see no sunshine, which are not electromagnetically charged, when 99.9% of our human DNA we drank from the flowing stream that wasn't polluted. Like I'll just keep fucking saying it. Like, I mean, we sin against ourselves. You can't get away from it. We live in shitty cities. I mean, you got to wear shoes everywhere you go. We are taught to desecrate our temples from children. And it's culturally accepted and culturally enforced. That's just the way it is. We're sadomasochists unconsciously. We've all become a bunch of sadomasochists unconsciously. What do they call it? Sadomasochism. Or what do they call it? Jesus taught us to forgive each other and forgive ourselves. I think the Christian message is pretty whack to me, to be honest. Nowadays, Christians are just like, believe that Christ died on the cross for you. Believe that Christ gave himself up as a blood sacrifice and you will be forgiven. I mean, I hate to say it, but Jesus would have been a lot, I know I love to say it, Jesus would have been a lot better if he was still around. I could walk up to him and his aura, his electromagnetic field would be so powerful that I would instantly get healed. But he didn't offer himself up to die. That's the most ridiculous shit. Like, I just can't believe that. And I think Christianity's been hijacked. So I don't fuck with it. He offered himself up as a blood sacrifice. Take my body and my blood. That sounds like some vampire shit, yo. Like, I'm just being real. No. He got murdered because the Roman emperor was pissed. Let's just be rational here. If anybody knows anything about dominating countries and pillaging for resources, if you have a dude like Jesus saying that you just need to love each other, then you have no base and profit after you've pillaged stuff. How are you going to sell it? If you're just laying on the ground, getting the maximum charge and becoming like super strong like Jesus, just walking barefoot all over the place, sunbathing naked, fishing and hunting off the land, and he's coming to your empire and he's telling everybody to do that, then you have no control. So they killed him. He didn't offer himself up as a blood sacrifice. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's the most dumbest shit that I've ever fucking heard in my life. And I actually want to throat punch Christians a lot. And I know I'm not perfect. I'm sorry, Jesus. But I get so fucking annoyed. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. I try to love, like I try to preach, like I have my dark side. I have my dark side like everybody else. Darkness and light exist in everybody. For me, it's existed in absolutes of the absolute dualities of wanting everybody on earth to be in absolute natural joy, bliss, and eternal ecstasy for ultimate vitality. Like if I could, everybody on earth would be having orgasms every day. Yeah, absolutely. Because then I wouldn't have to cross any fucking douchebags who were unhappy. Imagine if there was natural joy, bliss, and eternal ecstasy on earth. You wouldn't have to deal with any grumpy fucks. Nobody wants to deal with any motherfucking grumpy fucks, okay? I've dealt with a lot of them in my life. A lot of fucking assholes. So of course, why wouldn't I want natural joy, bliss, and eternal ecstasy on planet Earth for everybody? Other days, I just like, that's never gonna happen. Fuck this motherfucker. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm going to the fucking mountains to meditate on the fucking mountain like Buddha, Moses, Jesus, all the fucking ascended masters. And I'm going to be in natural nirvana on that fucking mountain top by myself naked, not having to be in guilt, resentment, and fear and all these man-made or woman-made bullshit laws because people don't know how to fucking act. Just being real. Sick of the laws. I'm sick of it. I don't want to fucking be a part of it. I get fucking angry as fuck. And sometimes I just want to become Kali, the absolute world destroyer. Quite the opposite of the fun-loving person that I just talked about earlier. But we're humans. We're capable of duality. That's why we can be in a loving relationship 1 second, in a perfect marriage, and then the next you got people trying to rip each other's throats out. We are flawed. And I do believe Jesus was a good homeboy, and he could teach us. But I'm pretty sure that if Jesus was around, he'd be like, yo, let's go to the fucking nudist beach and just chill. This is what God told you to do before you fucking sin. He told you to just fucking eat in the fucking garden, give each other massages, take care of each other. Don't give in to lust. Think things through. If you're gonna fuck all those women and you're gonna share women and share men and have orgies, you guys can't be fighting and getting jealous and making orphans. You guys all got to get along and take care of the kids together. Like that's what he would be saying. He wouldn't be like, oh no, you can only love one person. Because is that unconditional love, loving one person? Fuck no. So wanting to love more than one person is natural. Can people maturely do that? So like, I just don't agree with the Bible. I don't agree with a lot of things. The people that preach the Bible don't even preach for Christians to live the way that God commanded his people to live naked out in nature before they sinned. Don't you think God would still want us to be living that way? Then why is nobody preaching that? So I'm fucking done because I've put it. Every Christian that's tried to recruit me for their church, I've had this conversation and they just shut down. They shut down. They shut down. They have nothing to say. They can't fucking handle the heat. They're not ready for the fucking burning bush. They're not ready to actually do what they're trying to get me to do to go to their church for. So I'm like, well, fuck you then. The one thing I want to do is just chill on the beach naked and just fish and hunt. And it says it in your fucking book, and you're not even down to do it. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself, buddy. Then stop trying to get on my ass about not going to church. Because I've told this to over 1,000 people. And I'm sick of you telling me that I should still come to church. When you're actively living in a place of shame, guilt, and resentment. Although they do have the Christian naturalists, I'm telling y'all, people, they had the Christian naturalists. They're a naturalist group, but they call themselves the Christian naturalists. That's the only church I would ever go to, is the Christian naturalist church. I guarantee your body's going to heal if you're not living in shame, guilt, fear, and resentment 24 hours a day. I'm wearing this right now because it's cold. If I was living out in nature, my body would adapt. I wouldn't be cold right now. I used to run around the blizzard and knock on doors in a blizzard with no coat. It was one of the tactics so I could get in to shampoo their carpet. Because they're like, oh, where'd you leave your coat? And I was like, oh, I accidentally left it at the neighbor's house on my last vacuum cleaner. And they're like, oh my gosh, step inside really quick. You must be freezing. Can I get you some hot chocolate? And after they let me in, I tell them, hey, I just want to let you guys know. Because then I find a stain and then I talk to them. Because they let me in their house. They realize that I'm trustworthy. They get that feeling. And then when I let them in, I'm like, hey, I just want to let you guys know that I lied to you earlier. But you don't have to buy this vacuum. But here, put this blindfold on your wife and sir, put this on because if you see this vacuum, you're gonna want to buy it. I'm just being upfront and honest with you. And they buy it every time. 1 out of 2 times. Most of the time they didn't buy the Kirby. They didn't have credit. They couldn't afford it on credit. But yeah. So that's just how I feel, y'all. That's how I feel. I honestly don't feel that comfortable being naked either. I was naked in the sauna the other day and people were just staring at my schlong. And I was just trying to bathe. And honestly, I should be used to it because people used to stare at my schlong. But I was used to people staring at my schlong in a sexual way. So if I could just be in a sauna with some people and they weren't staring at my schlong, I mean, it's a big schlong. Honestly, there's no problem. Maybe if I was around the people for a long enough time, I'd be like, okay, they're staring at my schlong. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'd be fine. You know, if they're not going to like rape me or something. So it's all fear-based. It's all fear-based. You know, if you live in a sunny place, I mean, people just need to go and watch the African tribes hunt in their naturalist nudists, and they wear a little bit of clothes because they're running through the bush. Like, you don't want to get your pecker cut up by the jungle bush. If you get your pecker cut up by the jungle bush and you make love to her that night, it's going to sting bad. Like, seriously. Now think about it. So it makes sense to take some animal thing and kind of do the loincloth, but they just kind of take it off and sunbathe when they don't need it on. It's like they're wearing clothes because they need to wear clothes, not because it's some type of psychological illness of fear, guilt, resentment, or envy, or something stupid like this. Like, oh, his penis is bigger than mine, or some dumbass shit like this, or oh, her breasts look better than mine, and I feel guilty and resentful for my body. No, we need to learn self-love and love to accept other people for their natural state of being. In many ways, we're more retarded than all the other animals in the animal kingdom, in my humblest opinion. Not everybody. There's tons of countries that promote naturalism. Not everywhere, unfortunately, but they have like a lot of public places. Like Croatia, for example, has twice as many naturalist beaches as America does altogether, and it's like 1/2000th of the population. Croatia. Ugh. Pecker Bush. Hey, that's what we grow the bush for, is to protect our balls. There's a reason more hair grows there, because when we were running through the bush, it was protecting that spot. When you're having sex and you're that spot where all that hair is growing, if it was shaved like we shave it now because it looks better or whatever, I guess it depends on the person, then you're rubbing that part up against your partner, and if it was all skin, you'd be sweating on it, so it'd be stinging there during the whole time. There's a reason why we got a lot of hair there on the bush spot, y'all. Because that's the way that God intended it, or goddess, if we don't want to call it some masculine man-made name. Then again, man-made is masculine for the man. The Christian Bible trying to tell me that a woman came from a man's rib, some fairy tale shit. Like, come on now. Like, let's get real, y'all. Let's get real. Like they say, the Bible speaks in parables. So is the parable that at some point man just wanted to make the rules and have the ego. Like, let's get real, y'all. Like, let's get real. Yeah, I'm just being real, y'all. Look, I wasn't even trying to talk about it, but every time someone brings up some stuff on ask me why I won't go to church, I'll let them know. I'm like, okay. Is it the actual church where Jesus himself, because he rose from the dead, is he going to be preaching there? Jesus rose from the dead on the third day, so he must still be here, right? He was like the ultimate anti-ager. Well, he rose from the dead. Jesus should be around today. If they pinned him to a cross and he rolled that stone, and he was the ultimate Reiki healing master, if his auric field was that powerful, and he knew how to keep the chi running in your body and never age, and he could anti-age you, then I'll go to his church if he's still around and he's just hiding in the shadows somewhere because the current empire is trying to get him. Or who knows how many times he rose from the dead. I wonder how many empires killed Jesus. If he rose from the dead, let me go to that church. I think he was a man like everybody else, and he was tapped into I think he was tapped into the creation. I think he was living in alignment. It just scientifically makes sense. Everything, all the powers that he has are the same as the people that know the wisdom of Reiki practitioner healing and energetic mentalism. Oh. No, he rose from the dead. His body rose from the dead. Like he conquered death. He conquered physical death. That's what the Bible says. So, yes, he's a spirit. He's an archetype that anybody can connect to. His spirit is capable for anybody. Anybody can. You would have to meditate on his soul and actions, and your emotions and your actions would have to be in alignment with his actions in order to assimilate his powers. Even his apostles could heal people. They weren't as powerful as him, but they did group healings. So they would form energy fields and they would do group healings for people. But sometimes they weren't always on point. Like Jesus could do it instantly. Some of his apostles would get triggered and emotionally unstable, so they had to form these healing chi circles. All the different places from different parts of the world call this energy healing different things. Like, I understand the science of it. It makes perfect sense. I went to the LDS church, the Latter-day Saints. I got healed by people doing some Reiki healing on me. They were proclaiming Jesus' name, but Jesus didn't want to be put on a pedestal. And that's where everybody went wrong. Everybody just said, become like me, do as I do, and you will be as I am. He said some similar stuff. So he wasn't trying to be put on a pedestal. He was just trying to teach you that he was just some regular dude. That's it. So it's all just energetics. It's all just cause and effect of the energetic pathways. Supposedly his teacher, I don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly there was like some I think he had like these teachers. Who's his teachers? I can't remember. I saw it on YouTube. I can't really verify what I'm about to say. Let me think here. I can't even really remember, but it was like some type of Thoth, or I don't know. I think it was Thoth. He was like an Egyptian. It's like from the land of Egypt. This is just what some other people said. I don't know. I wasn't there in the physical flesh. So, and anything that the mind thinks, it perceives in the mind's eye. So, Thoth. Let me see who else. Pythagoras or somebody. They called him Pythagoras or somebody. He had like these teachers, because it says in the Bible that he ran away and he went to these mystery schools. But it doesn't talk about the mystery schools in the Bible. So, yeah, so that's kind of interesting. But there's tons of videos on it on YouTube. I don't know if you believe it or not, but it could be true. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. All right, everybody, I'm getting some sleep. If I was Jesus, I probably wouldn't need to sleep. I could just go lay naked under the moonlight and charge in like a half awake sleep, sucking all the moon energy naked. But unfortunately, if I did that here in the city and someone rolled by, they'd put me in an insane asylum or tell me I needed to go. Thankfully, they probably wouldn't do that now here in California. But I'd probably offend a bunch of people being naked, just sunbathing and absorbing the moonlight, which is it'll make you super strong. It'll make you super strong if you go out and you moonbathe. You get super freaking strong. I guarantee it. everybody thinks that the plants just need the sun and the rain. Well, the plants also need the moonlight, right? And if everything we eat comes from plants and animals animals eat other animals or other plants, you probably should be getting some sunlight instead of hiding in a cave, because that's what modern houses are if they don't have a retractable roof. Just being real. Just being real, y'all. All right, everybody. May your days be filled with natural joy, peace, bliss, eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and ultimate vitality. All right, I'm out, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed my rant. Do your own research and meditate, y'all. But if y'all want to get super fucking high, actually, I'm going to show you guys how to get super fucking high real quick. I think, all right, so we're just going to do some Om chanting. They snatched out my wisdom teeth when I was a kid to put my braces in. So, unfortunately, the bone isn't going to vibrate my third eye and my nervous system as good as if I had my wisdom teeth in. Why the fuck would you take out a pair of teeth that are called wisdom teeth? They call them fucking wisdom teeth, god damn it. I'm gonna fucking find that fucking doctor and fucking split his... Nah, it's all love. Do unto others as they would do unto you. Well, I should fucking do unto him. I should go rip out his wisdom teeth. He's probably dead by now. All right, y'all. So we're going to chant. If you have your wisdom teeth, you're going to get way better effect, because that bone is going to connect with the geometry of how your body was supposed to be. Also, another reason, if you want to know why our teeth get crooked, is because we're not living in alignment with the way that 99.999% of our ancestral DNA lived. We cook everything and make it super soft. So if you don't use it, you lose it. If you study all the cultures and that are still living off the land, eating like gripping meat, their teeth are completely strong and straight. If they're not like smoking or doing some other stupid shit, and they're like, that they're taking good care. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the chant. Check this out. I'm kind of tired right now, so we'll see. But you want to do this, you want to get as loud as possible. Sure. Imagine if you could just like yell as loud as possible, but you want to work up to doing that. And you want it to radiate and create a vibrational frequency throughout your entire body. It's best to do this while standing barefoot on the earth, preferably naked under the sun or the moon. If you want me to be really honest, but if you're able to do this barefoot outside in the sun, under the sun or the moon, when you're feeling comfortable, it's going to be the best experience. Right now I'm sitting, so I'm cutting off the chi to my ass, which is my root chakra. I'm also disconnected from the electromagnetic frequency because I'm inside. I'm also not getting the electromagnetic frequency of the wind because I'm in stale, stagnant air inside of a stale, stagnant building. Yeah, there's some science to this hippie shit, y'all. Believe it. All right, here we go. I did this the other night. I already feel high as fuck. I did this the other night in the sauna, and I had like 5 people going like, "Whoa, dude! I could feel the vibrations," and they all started doing it, and they're like, and they were all agreeing that they were getting high as fuck, and they're like, "Wow, I feel like the pain in my body's gone away." I'm like, "Yeah, fucking right. That's what's up. Like, let's get it the fuck done. Learn this hippy dippy shit, eh? The ancestors weren't lying, All right, here we go. It gave me a fun. I just woke the fuck up. As you can see, it gave me a ton of fucking energy. actually monks don't really need to sleep that much. Like the real powerful monks only need to sleep like 2 hours a day. I do though. But I'm actually feeling really good now. I just got super fucking high off of that because I stimulated my vagus nerve. And as you can see, after doing that, how I'm feeling, I'm going to do it again. So emotions. So check this out. So a pharmacy makes you feel some kind of way, right? So emotion is energy in motion. Emotions are physical matter. So if you can manipulate your emotions through learning breathing techniques and chanting or mental alchemy and how to change the thoughts, you can essentially create any drug in the body. When I'm super healthy, I can create pretty much caffeine in my body. Like I can create 1,000 milligrams of caffeine right now. It won't last that long, but I'd have to get my body like super. If I moved around and danced, and kept that energy going, I could do it. Of course, I would need like food, like some type of food source. But I can create like. I found out a way to get stoned on weed without smoking weed. And I did that through learning. I meditated on what my body was doing. Like I meditated on like what my body was feeling when I was stoned. And then I just breathed and changed my internal body with the chi so that I could be stoned when I wanted to. Like, I'm not fucking with you. The gurus talk about this. Like, you can recreate any drug in the body. You can create any emotion at will. I can't really do it at will anymore because my body's pretty weak. My mind's pretty weak. But at certain times throughout I can do it. And if I have to do something, like if I have to stay awake for 48 hours, I can make myself stay awake for 48 hours. If I have to stay awake for like 5 days in a row, I can stay awake for 5 days in a row if I have to. I've done that through mind and breath alone, and a little bit of caffeine. I think I've driven across 3,000 miles straight. Like, I mean, semi-truck drivers can do this. Why can't I? Like, if you're getting paid per mile, motherfucker, we driving all day long. I think they may have changed some laws because of semi-wrecks, but if you're driving your own fucking semi, you're on your own motherfucking books, motherfucker. I don't think that it's healthy. It depends. It's all how you look at things. So emotions are just how you look at things. Like, death doesn't really make me sad. It really doesn't. My mom died when I was 15. When I was institutionalized because I was taken away from her because she went to prison for growing weed. It's just how you look at things. So am I sad that she's not around? Yeah, sometimes I do cry about it if I allow myself. I do believe it's cleansing. Like if you need to cry and you feel the need to cry, you should cry. But at the same time, what is crying really going to do? I mean, she's dead. There's nothing I can do about it. She's returned to the earth. I don't believe she's in heaven. I believe that I am her DNA because that's the facts. I am her reincarnation, because what is the root word of reincarnation? Carnate. Carnate is flesh, so reincarnate. I'm half I'm half of her reincarnation, right? So I am her. She's not dead. She lives within me. It's like Simba. Simba, remember the Lion King, right? How did that go? I mean, would I have liked to have grown up with her? Absolutely. Would I like it if she was around so I could get to know her? Absolutely. Yeah, why not? I mean, hopefully, who knows? Maybe she would be a pain in my neck. A lot of people's parents are a pain in their fucking neck. I mean, how many people actually have close tribal wanting to be around the campfire every night relationships with their folks? I mean, it's this society teaches you to move away from your family. So would I really even, like, why should I be sad that she's dead? I have less stress probably in my life. So this is just how I've learned to manage her death, you know. In many ways, it's probably a relief. Imagine the stress that women have to go through these days. Wearing makeup, maybe she wouldn't even be happy. And I'd have to be trying to like make her happy and try to like be her guru or something. But would it be nice to have a mom? Probably, but I never had a mom. So I have really nothing to compare it to. So why wish for something that I don't have? You know what I mean? I mean, it's wrong what the government did. It's wrong that she died. They gave her shock therapy. If you take anybody's kid away from their mom, I used to have absolute rage and vengeance against the state for what they did. I used to scream bloody murder at the top of my lungs for hours at a time, at least once a week, just yelling because I had to get it out. And then I'd go to work the next day and sell 3 Kirby's full price and make $3,000 in a day. Like, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? I'm not going to resurrect her from the dead. I can find everybody has a mother in them. Like, everybody's DNA has a mother energy in them. We were made from so many mothers. Takes a mother and a father to create an offspring, a mother and a father to create an offspring. Like, there's been so many mothers in my DNA. I just tap in with the ancestors, and I am the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like it's simple. It's simple. Like, and if Adam and Eve were the first people, you know, I want to obey God. I want to be naked out in nature. I want to live infinitely without sickness. But nobody else is doing that. So what am I going to do? Like, it is what it is. Anyway, peace out, y'all. I got to get some sleep, y'all. But yeah, I would love to find a community of people one day that fish, forage, hunt, could defend themselves against a 2,000-pound Kodiak bear. One day I will swing the 50-pound sword, 1,000 swings in a row. That's what I say. I keep manifesting it. I did get to the 40 pounds, 100 swings. We did the 2,000 swings in under an hour with the 20-pound sword. We did the 300 swings with the 60-pound weighted vest, the two 10-pound ankle weights, the 2.5-pound wrist weights. We, as in those of you that have followed the journey, that have watched the videos, guys, go watch the videos. It's strength. It stands for willpower. That's what these challenges are about. It's to reconnect to the ancestral wisdom. There's no real reason to be that strong in society nowadays. It's just the principle. It's the principle of knowing that you could walk into nature without a tribe, and you could and you could live, and you could survive against any beast. It's the principle of taking full responsibility for your survival, in a way that's kind of pretty fucking cool. All right, everybody, have a beautiful rest of your night and your life. And may your days be filled with the utmost natural joy, peace, bliss, eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, excitement, joy. We don't always feel that way, but we have to take better care of our bodies. Everybody every day could just be doing like massage circles. You know how much stress that would take off everybody's life if we just started doing massage circles? Or the other animals of the other animal kingdom, they sit around and they pick the bugs out of their hair and they give each other massages. Yeah, they do fight, and the biggest alpha fucks the other people. But hey, we have different brains. We don't have to do that. We don't have to be like Wiz Khalifa saying, "I'm gonna fuck your bitch." And then we wonder why so many rappers get shot, because he was fucking other people's bitches. He fucked one too many motherfucker people's bitches. And then he fucked someone that they didn't want him calling his wife a bitch. And then his wife tells her what happened, and then he's fucking dead. Like fucking Cain all over again in this motherfucker, right? So like, we could be like the Bobo tribe, y'all. Research the Bobo tribe. We're also closely related to the Bobo tribe. What do? They just pick the fruit off the trees and have orgies all day. All right, everybody, I'm out. Peace. Oh, peace and wholeness. Peace and wholeness. Peace of the wholeness, y'all. Out and in.